Alright, boys, welcome back to another episode of Path to Profitability. I took two trades today, one break even and one win. I took one trade yesterday that got broke even. Actually, took two trades yesterday that they both got broke even. It was just a re entry off the break even, off the initial one. But I'll talk about the one yesterday quickly. So, yesterday was a really weird day, man. Like, I didn't have anything to take in the morning. I got back during PM session. I sat down after eating my meal after the gym. I sat down at my desk and I literally saw a setup forming right then and there. I quickly did a high time frame check. I looked at everything. So I thought. I looked at everything. So I thought. Um, there was a good setup that formed. I had good discretion to take it. I don't think I have any pictures of it. If I do, I'll put it. Oh, actually, I might have a screenshot on my PC, but I'll put it in the video if I do. Um, but overall, it wasn't a bad trade, and there was just some small things to clean up. Well, I'll get into it. The whole reason why I was so upset with taking this trade and, just upset with kind of the result of it, it was very impulsive. I sat down, I wasn't very focused. I did a quick check on the high time frame and I missed something crucial. I missed a bearish 1 hour fair value gap going against us. Now, it ended up playing out. Like I said, I got broke even, but my idea was right and it ended up playing out, and I can see why it ended up playing out. Like, it was a good trade. But the reason I was so upset with it is because I wasn't focused, and I made a whole thing about that last week after I took an unfocused PM session trade and I lost because of it. I made a huge thing about that to come into this week and not make those same mistakes, and I made that same mistake yesterday. So I was really upset about it. I just yeah. It was I think I was being a little bit too hard on myself, but at the same time, I made a mistake that I said I wouldn't do again, and yeah, I could have been a little bit hard on myself, but I was just upset, man. I was just upset because well, I broke my rules, Essentially, I broke my rules. So, that was something that really upset me yesterday. And regardless of the trade idea playing out, I wasn't happy with how I executed. I wasn't happy with just my impulse. There was reasons for the trade to fail. I felt like I had more confluences going my way, and I felt like price had to go higher, in order for a move down. Actually, that move down didn't even happen till Asia or London session, anyways. But there was confluences going against me, and that's fine and dandy. But I can't impulse and emotion my way into a trade when there's confluences going against me. So that was just the reason I was upset about it. But yeah, two break evens yesterday. So today, coming into the market open, we didn't really have much until like 9:45. I had a bullish bias coming into the day because overnight we pumped, we kind of edged these all-time highs and then had a pullback lower. I wanted NQ to sweep this hourly low into this hourly time frame. ES did. ES actually swept the low right off market open. I saw a lot of people get stopped out because ES took this low, put in this SMT in this hourly fair value gap, got the inversion, and then we continued lower. I chose to fade that trade because I don't like taking liquidity sweeps when there's no high time frame PD arrays to back it. I guess there was this 4 hour here, but for me, I really wanted to see ES come into equilibrium, and this 1 hour here, I felt like it was a stronger point. Honestly, that first trade that I saw a lot of people take I don't think it was a bad trade. I typically just don't really like taking trades that quickly in the market open because I find a lot of times they do fail. But we had a 15-minute right above too. There was just a lot going against this trade, and I wasn't super confident in it, so I chose to fade that initial setup. Um, One, because I just wanted to see a bit of a deeper pullback from both pairs. I wanted NQ to take this low, so NQ edged this low. This hourly candle closed with this huge rejection wick. What I wanted from this next hourly candle to do is form another huge rejection wick, but take this low, tap into the hourly, and then get a move up off of it. But instead, we kind of just started to pump higher, um, and failed to take this low. We edged it. So I know there was an inversion here. There's like a 4 minute inversion here or whatever that I wouldn't have taken that no matter what, but I kind of see why people did take it. But yeah, we put in this external SMT, started reacting higher. We opened up this 5 minute fair value gap here, and we also had candle closure above these candle bodies, above these bearish candle bodies, and then above, or no, I think it was just these bearish candle bodies. Yeah, pretty sure it was just these bearish candle bodies. Yeah, we had candle closure above these bearish candle bodies, opened up this 5 minute. Both pairs got that retracement. ES had a bit of a deeper retracement, so that gave us an internal SMT inside of this fair value gap. Oh, I didn't even mention. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I took a short, actually, because my overall drawn liquidity was still this low. So I took a short. We tapped into this 15. We put in, I don't have it on my chart anymore, but we had an SMT right here, as ES was a little bit more bullish. Or no, it was right here, sorry. And then we got this 1 minute inversion right here. Pretty decent inversion as well. We got this 1 minute inversion. Both pairs had a lot of momentum. Yeah, 15 minute, 5 minute for value gap, internal SMT at the high. And then we had this unmitigated 5 minute here, which actually uses my condition to take us higher. We had this unmitigated 5 minute. The thing is, that short wasn't really sponsored by anything, so that could be a reason why it failed. But I didn't get stopped out. I got broke even because once we tapped into the 5 minute that I used as my condition to move us higher, I went break even, and it got stopped pretty quickly. So with me getting stopped break even pretty quickly in that trade, this candle closure above the bearish candle bodies, the strong 1 minute inversion immediately after stopped me out break even. I took a quick look at the high time frame, saw everything was aligned, and I chose to enter this position. I entered off, where am I at here? I entered right here. Yep, so got the super strong inversion on both pairs, as I mentioned. Yeah, 5 minute for value gap, internal SMT, and then I just targeted a unmitigated, or it was this 15 minute high, is a 15 minute for value gap inside here in the 5 minute as well, and then it was an unmitigated hourly. So just targeted this hourly. One thing I'm going to start doing, because I've been finding a lot of my trades lately, a lot of my wins, sorry, I have, price hits my take profit pretty quickly and then just keeps ripping. Like, I could have had an extra 40 points, 45 points of profit here. So what I'm going to do, obviously, I'm going to obviously keep my draw. I'm going to have my draw, like, for today. Let's just use this as an example. I had my draw at that hourly fair value gap, the unmitigated 515, or the 515 high, sorry. So I'm going to keep my take profit there, but I'm not going to set an actual take profit. This will just be the level that I'm looking at for price to hit. Once price hits, I'm going to just drag my stop until the candle body, the last candle body before we hit my take profit. What this is going to do is, if we continue to rip higher or dump lower, depending on which direction I'm trading in, that'll allow me to maximize my profits. And then I'm just going to keep dragging my stop loss to the candle low, or the body low of the next candle, or the candle before, the candle that prints. Because this will allow me, like I said, to maximize my profits. Like, I could have got an extra 45 points here. I could have hit a 1 to 2, so that would have been a $1,000 win. But if price, reverses, and we hit my draw and then reverse, well, I'm not gonna get broke even, right? I'm gonna get stopped in profit, but it's not gonna be much lower than what my take profit would have been. So really, it's a win-win. You're getting a little bit less profits than what you would have got, but the upside is so much higher. And I saw a guy, Casper, on Instagram talk about that, and I really want to start doing that, because I think it's gonna make my profits bigger, obviously, and I think it's just gonna make me a better trader. But one thing I got to focus on when I do that is not worrying about that, not focusing on that, focusing on my execution still, not worrying about how big the profit is going to be, or how much this trade is going to win for. Because I feel like sometimes I'll put the goggles on. If there's a possibility of me hitting a big trade for a lot of money, I'll sometimes put the goggles on and I'll enter in the poor position. So I just need to focus on continuing to execute and taking good trades. Another thing I need to focus on is not beating myself up so much after losses. Like, almost every trade, there's going to be confluences going against us, and it's on me to recognize those and establish and kind of figure out within myself if I'm willing to take the risk. Like I said, there's going to be confluences going against us. Am I comfortable with taking this trade knowing the confluence is going against us? And I feel like yesterday with those break-even trades, I feel like I was so upset with myself because I saw what was going against us. And yeah, I was willing to take the risk, but it was just very impulsive. It was a very impulsive decision, and if I lost that trade, I probably would have beat myself up bad. So it's just stuff like that. I need to really focus on, yeah, just not beating myself up. Understanding that the confluence is going against us are almost always going to be there. There's almost never a perfect trade, but it's on me to decipher if I'm willing to take that risk or not. So if I'm impulsive, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like when I'm, acting, when I'm trading emotionally. Look at this dump right now. Holy shit, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. Anyways, yeah, I need to establish if I'm willing to take that risk or not. And I can't be impulsive with it. That's the only thing. So, good learning experiences from yesterday. I carried it into today. I traded really well today. I was very reactionary. I just took good trades, executed well, managed my trade well, learned some things obviously with how I want to manage my trades in the future. But that's something that I'll be able to add on. And yeah, it was a good trading day. So I'm happy with how I performed today. I'm going to continue and carry this into tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, so hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry I didn't have any execution videos or any recap from yesterday. I was just after that break even yesterday, I felt like I had some real like reflection to do, and I feel like the last few weeks I've had really good reflections, but maybe too many times for me to have to reflect. So I'll be cleaning that up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop with the executions, like recording my executions once I'm in the trade, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe I want to take uncharacteristic trades, just to see, like, just to get like clout from a video. It's dumb, but it's something that I kind of do think about while I'm in the trades. So yeah, good week so far. I'm going to continue into tomorrow with this momentum and just making sure that I'm executing properly. I'm focused. I'm not impulsive, not acting off emotions, not letting my self sabotage, my old self sabotage my trades. Um, and yeah, just carrying this momentum into tomorrow. Peace out. What up, boys? I did not trade today, but I do want to talk about this forward test that I had, because it played out, but I felt like it just wasn't really optimal for me. So coming into open, we had dumped quite a bit. We created a lot of low resistance, kind of in this range here. Bang. This range here created a lot of low resistance above, and you can look at this like an accumulation, and what I wanted was a manipulation into this 1 hour gap. Can't remember if there's a 4 hour. We're holding this 4 hour, that's right, but we had another 4 hour down here. It wasn't necessary to come down and hit this 4 hour, but the way I was looking at it here is, yeah, the 4 hour was holding, but we had already wicked into it 2 separate times, so I didn't really expect it to hold. We had fully mitigated the 4 hour, so I wanted to see us use that other 4 hour and this hourly to move us higher. And what we did is we formed equal lows, and then kind of just pumped straight to our draw off open. My draw was the daily high, the all-time high. Is actually, yeah, Asia high. So yeah, it was all-time high. My draw was all-time high, and we pumped right off open, took London high, got a rebalance into the last presented 5 minute fair value gap. It was OTE. I just wasn't a fan of this because we had formed a 15-minute right as this 5 minute was starting to react bullishly. So that was just kind of not really ideal for me. I've seen a lot of stuff about breakaway gaps, and I don't know much about breakaway gaps, so I want to look into that. That is something that I'm going to do tomorrow. I have it on my checklist. I wanted to do it today, but I just got caught up with other stuff. But yeah, so we came into this last presented 5 minute, got a reaction. I marked out the SMT anyways, so we got the internal SMT inside the 5 minute. We got a 1 minute inversion. I faded this initial setup because I probably would have front ran this gap if I did take it, and I would have had to put my stops at the body low, and that's still a 65-point stop. Yeah, risk was kind of slightly better than, if I was to take it on these inversions that I had set up before. But yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't for me either way. Didn't really like the setup. Didn't like what it was showing me. And yeah, happy I faded that one, honestly, because I feel like that's just a pattern trade, especially with that 15-minute that just formed. And then we pulled back. We did not sweep the low. We did not manipulate the low. I guess we manipulated this little internal, but that's literally useless. Yeah, failed to take this low. Held this SMT in this low. And we got another 1 minute inversion. So I was willing to take this. I'm not going to lie, what I wanted to see was candle closure above these bodies here, these candle bodies, and we did, but it didn't close with much room, and overall I just wasn't really prepared. Like, no, I was prepared, but I just didn't want to put risk on this trade because I wasn't that confident in it. It wasn't really a good trade in my opinion. It wasn't a good trade for me, so I chose to fade this setup and played out. I would have got broken even anyways because of the lack of confidence. I moved my BE right when we took this high, this little 1 minute high here. So hindsight, that's dumb. That is not a good point to go break even in, and I wouldn't do that on a trade that I was confident in, but I did it just because of the lack of confidence here. But still, honestly, no reason to go break even that soon. Kind of unnecessary. But yeah, it would have played out about a 1-to-1. I've been liking the 1-to-1s lately, to be honest. But I think I said it in the previous day. But I'm going to start just trailing my stop, not even putting a take profit, just trailing my stop. So let's say, the market, let's say I did take this trade and the market, I didn't go break even or anything, but market came up right here. We take my take profit. We hit my draw on liquidity. As soon as I see that, I'm just going to trail my stop literally to the body low of the previous candle. Where am I at here? It's right here. I would trail my stop right there. And then I would just keep going up. Every candle that forms, I just keep going up. Bang. Oh, we get a new candle here. New up close candle. Oops. New up close candle. Bang. New up close candle. Yeah, I would wait here. And then, yeah, up close candle. We get that one. Bang. I might even go here. Bang. And then, that's an extra 40, I want to say 40 points of profit. That's an extra 40 points of profit. So I've been noticing that a lot of the trades that I do hit, I will go 1-to-1, because lately the 1-to-1s have just been working a lot better for me. I go 1-to-1, and then price just continues to rip. So if I just don't set a take profit, just continue to trail my stop, then I can add on an extra 20, 30, 40 points on to my winning days. So I can't complain about that, and I think it's a good method. So I'm going to be continuing to do that, or I guess starting to do that. And yeah, that's everything. It is late as fuck. I am so tired. But I wanted to just get this kind of part of the video up. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy Friday tomorrow. Looking forward to that. No news Friday, so I'll be very cautious, very defensive. It's looking like I'm only going to take one day of trading. I don't know if I want to count that at PM session BE. Yeah, we'll count it. So 2 trading days, 3 trades total, or 4 trades total. But yeah. Alright, boys, I did not trade again today. No trade this Friday, so that is 4 trades this week, 2 trading days, 1 win, 3 break evens. We'll talk about why I faded this setup today. So coming into the market today, very bearish. Obviously overnight, I was just treating this as a pullback. What I wanted to see was this hourly low get swept and tap into this high time frame PD array. I wanted ES to do the same thing, but unfortunately we kind of edged these lows and then just pumped higher. So I really didn't get the opportunity to take this trade. But what I was looking for off open, I actually wanted to short to this low. This was my draw on liquidity initially because we were bearish, because we were moving down pretty steadily overnight. I wanted us to sweep this low, like I said before, moving higher. So my draw on liquidity was this low. I was willing to take a short here because we had a four-hour structure shift. So I'm open again to taking shorts. We had a 5-minute fair value gap here, and then we had the inversion here. And like I said, I could have took this. The stop was very, like, it was a huge position size, just not really ideal for me. I probably would have targeted something like this, so I would have got broke even or stopped in profit. But overall, just wasn't clean enough for me. No SMT here, no SMT inside of my gap. That's what I look for continuation trades. Is a 5-minute sponsored by higher time frame gaps, but I just didn't really feel comfortable taking it, and I faded it. I chose to fade it, and then obviously for these longs up here, the people longing here, just wasn't for me. I wanted us to take this low before anything, so I chose to fade everything that I saw, and overall is, yeah, just a pretty like chill week for me. Sitting on my hands a lot. I learned a lot on Tuesday. I would have hit those positions if I had more confidence in that position and didn't go break even so early, but those were very impulsive trades and I didn't like those when I took them. So that's a huge reason for why, I went break even so quickly, but they would have played out, so it would have been, well, I would have only taken one that day if it would have played out, if I would have held it, but would have been 2 wins and a break even this week if I held it. So it's a learning lesson, but I'm pretty happy with my performance this week. Very patient, very, not emotional, not forcing my way into trades, not FOMOing into trades. I like how I traded this week, and I definitely don't regret the, I don't regret how I performed this week at all. So first green week in a while, I'm happy with it. Yeah, chose to fade everything I saw today. Just didn't really make sense for me to trade here. Could have taken shorts here, but I wouldn't have played out anyways. But yeah, just nothing really for me, and chose to sit on my hands. So that is it for this week. Only one real trade, but I'm happy with how it went, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of Path to Profitability. I'm looking forward to next week, carrying this momentum into next week. I feel really good about where I'm at. I honestly, if I do get a setup in the PM session, I might take it. It won't be in this video though, but I might take it. It kind of looks like we're gonna get something here. I want to see if we can get a continuation here because we had a liquidity sweep inside of high time frame PD array here, and now we're reacting pretty strongly. So I honestly do want to see a pullback here to bring us lower. So we'll see what I get, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and peace. Alright, I dead ass entered a trade like right after I finished recording that. It was a clean setup, super clean setup. So we, not the cleanest shit in the AM session you guys saw, but we moved up, formed a pretty clean move up over the last few hours, tapped into this high time frame PD array, 1 hour, 4 hour, 30-minute, you name it, it's there. Put in that external SMT and got a very clean V-shaped reaction. Opened up this 50-minute fair value gap. We completely mitigated this one, so I felt confident trading through it. We retraced back into this 15. I got the same thing on ES. Also had, I don't know why, I'm not gonna lie, my execution wasn't the cleanest. Just because I got kind of caught up looking between MNQ and ES, like on this chart here, just switching back and forth. But yeah, so got this SMT here that I didn't even put on my chart. Got the internal SMT inside of our gap, inside the 15. I actually entered off this 2-minute inversion, but there was a 3-minute that opened up, and I'm lucky that it played out because I did not see this 3-minute inversion. For some reason, when I went to the 3-minute, I did not see this initially. don't know why, but I saw this 2 minute and yeah, we got a nice inversion, close on ES as well, and then I entered there. A little bit of sloppy execution, but it played out either way. We're just targeting the low of this range. I was trailing my stop once we kind of got down into this area here, and I got stopped out just under this low. So we reacted, got stopped out. I did that because, if we would have continued to dump, we had momentum, so I thought it'd be a good idea. And yeah, I made my profit, so I'll take it. But yeah, overall, like, clean move, very clean setup. Not the best execution from me. I will be the first to admit it, but it was a clean setup and I had a lot of good conviction for it. So felt good with taking it. I recorded some of the executions at the end, so I'll put that in at the end of the video to end. This video will literally end with that. And yeah, good week for me. Good week. Some of my best trading in the last few weeks. I'm not gonna lie. So you guys see I made this bad mistake with this trade on Thursday last week. Good recovery week for me, and I'm happy with it. Again, not the best execution, so I'm a little bit disappointed with it, but it played out either way. It was a good setup mechanically, but just a tad more focus again. So I don't know how sustainable a trade like this is in PM session where like I'm a little, I don't have the best focus. Just kind of flipping between the charts and just small mistakes, right? I don't know how sustainable that is. So I'm going to journal this. I'm going to just make sure that, I don't want to replicate this. Yeah, just need better focus, but good way to end the week. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to put the execution at the end of this video.